Uduasha city, where the sun is a mirror and the moon a shadow. 800 years ago, the gates of death were broken by the Emperor Immortal. The 5 key bearers, however, had already unlocked them and walked right through. It is in Uduasha city they dwell. Now, the ghost field breathes next to our reality, lit by the eternal flame of the well of Udu. It is a second skin, a place where thought and will struggle against gravity and light. In other places, the dead congregate in the ghost field, but in Uduasha, the well city, the hell city, they fall straight into the flames. See its glittering districts: Kshitijpur, where the rich plot to buy the horizon; Bunda West, where the refugees of 2 different nations flock; and Pasarhandu, the vertical maze of market and murder. And here is Udepat, where the ceaseless temple resides. Its inhabitants, a family, a snake, and a god. The temple has stood since before the gods of this world were forgotten. Watch as it turns the wheels of revolution. Welcome to Desperate Attune, an actual play podcast about people who take risks so they can survive against the odds.
Last time, we opened with the boss returning from his long absence from the crew. He'd been busy working on his newspaper, mostly just trying to make sense of Goopy's impenetrable writing. For a while, the task seemed impossible, but with Bhaga's help, he was able to distill it into a captivating tale of personal and social tragedy. No sooner than a buzz returned from the temple, he learned that the crew were planning an expedition deep within Uduasha's caves. While he was away, Freya had come and taken Maud with her. The crew had initially taken her for a member of Scotland's royal family, but after investigating the matter, they discovered that Freya was actually the puppet of a forgotten god, the Kingfisher. It now fell upon them to ensure that Maud was safe, and rescue her if need be. The plan was simple. They would pretend to go spelunking and just happen to tunnel into the Kingfisher's grotto, but the plan was all short-sighted. Soon after entering the caves, they found themselves on the edge of a seemingly bottomless chasm. Securing themselves to each other with a sturdy rope, the crew began the perilous climb across the walls. Just short of completing the climb, however, the rocks started to crumble beneath their hands and feet, threatening to plunge them into the void. Acting swiftly, Vickers planted her axe firmly into the wall like an anchor, preventing the worst. And in an astonishing display of core strength, she braced herself against the walls, allowing Joan to jump off her and to the other side. With the rope secured by Vickers on one side and Joan on the other, Abbas and Miraz started to climb across, but things took another turn for the worse. Everyone knew ghosts did not exist in Uduasha. All were pulled in and consumed by the flames of the well, but here, where the light did not reach, one appeared. Shocked by the sudden apparition, Miraz lost his grip, falling further down the walls, dragging Abbas and Vickers with him. Joan, her railjack instincts not forgotten, swung herself over the edge to grab hold of the others. Miraz in turn deployed his extendo arm to close the distance, but the poorly oiled contraption could only slowly creak forwards, and Vickers, knowing that Joan could not pull them all across, let go of the others. Using her pickaxe to slow the fall, she made the long descent along the cave walls, and disappeared into the blackness below, with the coast in hot pursuit.
So one question, though, is like I am hanging from the wall with one hand, and I thought I was holding your flesh hand with the other.
I picture us as just dangling from the rope since we're attached together.
Yeah. I think you're all
Because
dangling
I jumped
from the rope.
after you.
Yeah, because we were quite
you did jump after. Yeah, that is true. Your use of goat-footed was to jump down. So probably actually.
Okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Okay,
it makes sense that Joan is holding Miraz's hand, but Joan is just hanging from the harness from the pit and up above. I think that makes sense.
I'm going to say, okay,
Cool.
John, let me lend you a hand. Creak, 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 and he's going to grab something.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
This, by the way, is not what this is for. This is not meant for heavy lifting.
No. Oh.
But may I attempt to leverage us up with this?
Mm-hmm.
oh, sounds like
You could leverage yourself up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Leaving Abbas behind, and you could engineer some way of pulling Abbas up afterwards with some kind of pulley system, which you could probably devise.
Yeah. I'm wondering what this would be.
I feel like operating the arm is finesse.
Yeah.
It could also be Tinker.
Unfortunately. Tinker. No, I mean, I think it would be Tinker if I was using the arm in the way it's meant to be used, but now I think it's still, once again, I'm trying to use it to prowl. Which is fine.
Okay.
Finesse and prowler did the same for me. I have no dice.
Fantastic. I will say you are still in a desperate position.
Yeah.
Like, there's a real chance your arm just breaks and replaces both your real one and your fake one.
I mean, one of those is replaceable.
Yes, indeed. I presume you mean your real one.
No. Don't be silly. I'm a sparkcraft engineer, not a fleshcraft engineer.
Ah.
I'm not qualified. Anyway, desperate standard? Limited? I think limited actually makes more sense.
What is your goal? If your goal is to carry you and your two friends all up, yeah. I mean, limited.
Or at least like limited would be that they manage to leverage us, or kind of like we still need to. We'd be stable, but then we'd still need to do something.
I think limited
Standard
would be you would
Mhm.
get some kind of stability, and that would get help.
Yeah. I'm going to push myself for an extra dice.
That makes sense.
Sorry, I'm going to push myself for effect. And is there a devil's bargain for an extra dice? Otherwise, I'll have to push
Oh.
myself for an extra dice as well.
Uh.
How about that Johannes thing?
Oh
There's still-
yes. Okay. Yeah. Sure. I know exactly what it is because we discussed Johannes being into hang gliding, right?
Oh god.
I think they followed you all the way here, and then they saw Vickers fall. And I think that in this case, Johannes is unlike their sister. I think if their sister was in this position, Maud would be like, "Oh my God, Vickers is falling," and then try and help Vickers. Johannes is like, no, all I care about is my sister. I think what you do is your hand gets like a little tailwind from Johannes's hang glider as they fly past you and smoothly reach not even the other side, but a part of the cavern that you probably weren't even ever gonna climb to. And
Fuck that, I'm grabbing the hang glider.
okay,
Thanks, Johannes. This is excellent. Great idea.
desperate. You want Johannes to carry all three of you?
I want to grab Johannes's hang glider and to kind of not be in our position and to be in a new precarious position, and probably Johannes can guide us towards. We can all crash together somewhere. That's
So
probably
the
what's gonna
plan
happen.
is we're going to hook onto Johannes' hang glider, and then hopefully that'll pull us back out of the cave.
No, he's going deeper in, right?
They're
How big is
going,
this cave?
where they think the grotto is. And
Okay.
also, to be clear, sorry, what I was trying to signal with you weren't even trying to go there is I don't think they know where they're going. I think this is just pure instinct for them.
It's like this. I'm going to grab the thing, and this is going to remove us from where we are,
Right.
and then we're going to crash because this is not how you hang glide, right? You do not hang glide with three people dangling off you, but we will crash in a
I
way
don't
that
think you-
hopefully will be better than us just falling down.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you hang glide in a cave, but here we are.
It's a
Can
big.
Can I just set this up
Yes.
Yes, please.
by once Miraz is not dangling entirely from me, letting go and sliding down the wall after Vickers, so that they have less weight to handle.
Okay.
Or am I misinterpreting the situation whereby Vickers came down?
No, I just slid down the wall. You can slide after me. That's not a problem. If you're an athletic person, I think it's perfectly doable.
Yeah, and it I think if you want to go down, how is this setting you up?
For them, it should be a setup because there's not three people, but two people.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Actually, that is a very good setup. Let's say it's very odd saying you're in a desperate position here because the goal is the risk, which is to say you're gonna fall towards Vickers.
I would frame it as risky because there's a risk of scrapes and bumps, but not death. For a slide like this, you could hurt yourself on the way down, but
Maybe it's just a resistance roll with browse because
but
to kind of
you've
see
already-
how much.
no,
I
but
think
Jones already
the
resisted.
risk is when you're sliding down a surface at speed. I'm illustrating with my hands, which is extremely useless. When you're sliding down a surface at speed, there is the chance of either losing your balance and going head first, or hitting a snag and losing your balance and flying off the wall into just complete void.
let's not overcomplicate this. I vote we frame it as a setup action that's risky standard,
I
the
think that
normal
makes
setup
sense.
action. And if it succeeds, it gets easier for the others to get away, and Joan might get hurt in the process. But
Cool. Can I take a bonus die from Good-Footed, considering that I have to keep my balance while sliding?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
makes sense.
Right? Brawl risky standard setup. I just kind of once Miraz is in a situation, I pat him on the shoulder, give him a clip of electroplasmic ammo, or just kind of push it into his pocket and say, meet up later, and then slide down.
She's so cool.
So cool when she's not being awkward.
I have a 3 and a 5.
That's
5, yeah.
yeah, 5, 3, 5. So 5.
The only competent person in the crew.
I'm at risk of trauming out, but I want to protect Joan from the possible consequences here in a very funny way.
Okay, well, I mean,
Wonderful.
I think the consequence here is, just you're goat-footed, right? So you're not necessarily going to. No, I think the risky consequence here is that you either have to make sure that you land in exactly the right place, right? And you are so focused on doing that you get hurt, or you don't get hurt, you're totally fine. But because you're so careful about not getting hurt, you overshoot, and you end up, I think, further down from where Vickers is. I'm imagining wherever Vickers is, and we're gonna find out where she is in a sec. There will be a moment where you reach out to each other, your fingers touch, and then you continue.
My way of protecting Joan is very simple. I think Vickers is going to finally land, stand up, brush herself off, and then Joan's going to land on her.
Incredible.
And I'm just going to kind of catch her. not a very planned thing. I'm just going to, a person falls on you, so you catch them. It's just instinct.
Excellent.
I'm sure you have done the football celebration thing where you stand on each other's shoulders many times.
Yes.
That's the same as
are
this,
you okay
right?
with this? Yes, are you okay with this, Joan? Being protected by cushioning? I might trauma out from this, but it feels like it would be a very funny way to trauma out. So.
Oh my god.
What if it relaxes you and you? Oh, okay.
There's a 5, a 2, and a 5.
Yes. So I think clearly the funniest way for this to take me out of the scene is that Vickers actually has the wind knocked out of her. She's knocked out for a moment. So it's not that she stands up and catches you. You just kind of knock her over and land on her chest and knock the wind out of her. Just it's a very loud oof.
But what is truly unfortunate is that this happens, and now you have an somewhat unconscious body next to a ghost.
Yes.
And this is even worse. We do also have a railjack, but
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to where we were.
Yes. So Miraz and
We've been
Abbas.
set up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've been set up. So improved position or what?
Yes, I think that you are no longer in a desperate position because there is so
Well,
much
I want to
less...
get back to a desperate position.
Excellent. So you were at risky standard, but you can go to desperate great?
Yeah. So no, I was at risky limited. Then I had to push myself for risky standard.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
basically, what I mean is I can get to desperate standard without pushing myself.
yes, great, fantastic.
And I'm taking the devil's bargain. Abbas, would you like to help me?
I would.
How would you like to help me?
And I think, if you like, I can give you even more effect, as well as +1 die, to really get out of here with red right hand. Okay, so what's your plan here?
My plan is to grab the hang glider.
Right.
And then see what happens.
And you're going to use your mechanical hand for this?
Yes.
I mean,
when you say creaking, it sounds less reliable, but
yes. I wasn't playing that. Because I'm trying to think of how we can maybe is it possible for us to maybe Abbas to we're in close enough proximity, I think, and with 2 engineers we can maybe field engineer your mechanical arm to be a bit more accurate, or give it a bit of extra oomph.
How would you? You don't know anything about. I think we'd start having an argument about my mechanical arm and what it needs.
Give me that. Yeah, give me that arm here. I can fix it up for you. I can what you know what it is.
Maybe when you reach for it and we start struggling for it, like it
Yeah.
actually somehow makes me hook onto the thing better. Like instead of just, it's kind of like waving in the air and then it like hangs. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to grab at it. Like Mira's given here, I know how to improve it, and you're just trying to keep it away from me, and then it
Excellent.
bangs against the wall and just shoots. There you go.
Do you understand that this is not help? This is a devil's bargain. This does not sound in any way helpful.
It's just how we work. It's our dynamic.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So desperate great with 2 bonus dice
Yeah.
for a grand total of 2 dice.
I mean, it's a reasonable number of dice. A 1 and a 3.
It's a 3. Goodbye, cruel
Okay.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that. Oh man. Just a second while I try and think about like what is the worst thing that could happen here.
Season 1, only 20 episodes long.
This hang glider. It's a hang glider that you acquired some time ago, Vickers to use in the roofball match. And what that means is that and you made it particularly resistant to things like what if Vickers takes off from a roof and then someone tries to grab her legs or something. Or that would be a terrible thing to happen to my wife, who is a champion roofball player. I want to keep her safe from that. You spend a fair amount of
I'm
money.
such a good engineer. I'm such a good engineer.
Yeah, exactly.
Foolproofed.
And you
But
spend
I'm
a
a fool.
fair amount of money doing this. I think the reason that this fails is that you are just Hannah sees you coming, and it's not even, they're not that good a hang glider. Was just too good an engineer. So you try and grab them, and I think there is some kind of mechanism on the hang glider that blocks you from doing this, and it just pushes your hand away or something. Now you're just in the air. You can feel that part, something in your gut going, fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And Abbas, maybe squabbling with your nephew is not the best way to get anything done, because definitely that distraction was the reason that he's falling. And you're following him falling.
Mm.
So
I mean, we
is the
gotta-
consequence here that we're free falling into the void
Yes. Seems like so.
with Johannes?
Oh, Johannes completely avoided you. Johannes is
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 1 and a 3.
I take you into my home. I feed you my wife's cooking.
Are you actually yelling this at them?
Or,
No,
Yeah.
I don't have time.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Talking is not a free action.
No,
I
it is
take
not.
you into my.
Fuck you, Sebastian.
Sorry, the
Uh,
platypus.
I mean, I've got stress to burn, so
Yeah, absolutely.
How would you like to protect us from this situation, Uncle?
I'm trying to figure it out because we are free falling, so we have to resist this somehow.
Free.
The only thing,
I have an idea.
Falling. Yeah, sorry. Go.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
As we fall down, I assume that we're falling down quite a way, so there's time to come up with a plan.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
In fact, I will not resist the consequence of falling. Or, in fact, because we will be falling, now we will turn this problem into an asset.
Okay.
Abbas, you
Like
wear
a
robes,
snake.
right?
You know what? I was also thinking that maybe my robes. I was about to say my robes might decrease my terminal velocity.
I will make sure it does, because I'm going to... Uncle,
Yes.
put this... Uncle,
Are
open your robes.
As we are falling, are you going to use the climbing gear to rig my robes into some kind of
I'm going to-
glider?
I'm going to cover your robes in drift oil.
Oh. Okay,
Drift-
so my plan was similar, but slightly different, which was to use the climbing gear as we are falling, and we have a long way to fall, to rig my robes into wings for a glider.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
that's
the
what we can
same
do.
as
Drift
using
oil.
engineering. Yeah.
Yeah.
Creates neutral buoyancy when poured on an object, causing it to float in the air for an hour.
This is the kind of thing that maybe if you had applied to your shoes before you tried to cross this, would make it very.
Nah, that wouldn't work. I mean, then what? Just floating on what? You know?
Yeah. Wait, do we look like experienced spelunkers to you?
Very good.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah. We have invented an entirely new kind of hang glider on the spot while free falling.
Yes, indeed.
It just requires Abbas to be butt naked.
Yeah.
Very good.
Or whatever, whatever it is got on. Anyway, I don't want to think about it. Just get your robes out, and
All right,
let your nephew put weird, fucked up chemicals on your robes.
Yeah.
Okay, I do
Shall we
think.
call this a group action tinker?
I think this is a group action tinker.
Okay.
But
So desperate once more. I just want to set the scene here. We have Vickers flat on the ground, in real danger of being possessed by this ghost. We have Joan, the only person capable of protecting her. Joan, you look up. There is like a slightly ratty but familiar hang glider flying up there, maybe like I don't know, 30 feet up, over the edge of this like cavern. And then you see your two family members, Miraz and Abbas, just like rocketing down towards you.
see,
Best you, I think.
all right. So here's the thing, Miraz. If you can turn if I give you my robes and you apply the oil onto it, right? Now that we could say that that's now a vehicle or a mount that I could now handle because I do have a point in finesse. So this could all work out. All right.
Yes.
Wow.
We will have our own hang glider.
Yes.
Okay.
Your robes are now a vehicle or mount. That is pretty incredible.
I mean, okay.
Let's see if it works out first.
Yeah.
While this is happening, Jonas is like in a little pile on the ground next to Vickers going, ow. And then she turns around and then sees this and shit.
Oh god.
I will point out that
I really want to resolve.
I was gonna say, it's like maybe in like 6 rolls, and you have succeeded at 3 of them. No, it's been 8 rolls, and you've succeeded at 3 of them. You know, if you roll badly now, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's not so much as what we've succeeded at, as the sum result of all of that is one of us is unconscious and the other 2 are free falling into the void.
Yeah.
Listen,
okay.
All right.
Normally, I just pass the spotlight on because we had our thing, but like I really want to try this.
No, absolutely.
Do it. We could do it.
So it's desperate. What? Group action tinker, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry, not tinker. Yeah, tinker. My
It is tinker.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna say what you want to do is gather this on a bus so that he can try and fly his robes. Right?
Or at least use it as a parachute. Because you're falling down, and maybe we actually want to go down. I don't know. All I know is falling down at the velocity in which we're falling will lead us to die.
Okay.
Whereas if we have a parachute, maybe we can use that to navigate to a more advantageous position as we go down.
Because the drift oil is a genuine alchemical which makes you buoyant, limited effect.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we have to have the thing that lets us do it.
That's the only reason that you're having limited effect. And with limited effect, what this means is, absent anything else, whenever you hit wherever you're going, probably won't like die on impact.
Okay. I will push myself for standard. Now, it's a group action, so is it okay if just one person pushes for effect, or do we both have to do it?
I think in this
Generally,
case,
it's usually just one person.
And I think in this case
that is,
also,
I think, the rule.
Yeah, okay. I pushed. So now it's desperate standard.
I mean, all of you are getting so much XP from this.
3. Once again, I'm asking for a devil's bargain.
Oh man, really mining the. Oh yeah, I know what the devil's bargain is. Is that Hannes is actually going in the right direction. This is very.
Oh, so he'll get there before us.
They will definitely get there before you. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
good for them.
Good for them. Yes, I keep getting tripped up because I also know a Johannes who is a he him, and
Yes.
it's easy to get wires crossed. But yes,
Okay. 1 bonus dice. Let's do it. Aha! Aha! Critical success! 2
Mistake.
6s.
Okay. I mean, it was an important.
it,
It was an important role to crit.
I mean, Yeah.
what we learned from this is that Miraz is an excellent hang glider designer, because the reason Grab last hang glider didn't work was that it was too good, and now he made a new one. It's also much better than expected.
Yeah. Abbas should still
Abbas is
roll.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
Hey, that's
Okay.
two fours.
Still a 4.
Appreciate it.
So it's risk free. I think so. We know that Abbas's robes are particularly like special, right? Because like you got Alasim to get you like the special silk.
I have a ridiculous crit bonus, if I may suggest a thing.
Oh, go on.
Just absolutely stupid, so I must get it out of my system.
Uh-huh.
We know that everyone's robes in this crew is adorned with holy symbols of our temple. Like
Yes.
we wear our arcane implements. And now, said arcane implements are a hang glider, so can he ram the ghost with magical hang glider robes on
Oh
his way
my
down?
god!
Yes.
I mean, it will have some effect because they're actually arcane. You know, it's like ramming a crucifix through a ghost or something. Except in this case, it's a holy snake
Uh-huh.
embroidered on some pants. Yeah.
How could I say no?
Yes.
How can I say no? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mhm. So
We're gonna bump the ghost off.
So but we do actually have to do it still, right? Like, because right now we've just only made the thing.
Uh huh.
So
All right.
basically, the crit bonus makes this ghost battering ram hang
Yes.
line thing.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
It's now a holy
Alright.
hang glider because it's made out of holy robes. You see.
holy
Okay.
hang glider
Glider.
Miraz, hang on tight. We're going in. It's time to finesse.
Where
This
are you taking this? What?
We're heading towards the coast, are we not?
No, I
Dude.
think like Miraz doesn't know in character.
Yeah. Like, we've got to rescue your wife, Miraz.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
When you put it that way.
Yeah. All right, because it's not to handle a vehicle or a mount.
Okay, I'm
my
assisting you
God.
by I don't know, physically moving myself as
Yeah,
like
shift your weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna. Okay, so like, what are we just doing risky standard here, or
I think somehow you are. No, I think you're still in a desperate
I
position.
think probably it's desperate standard.
Yeah,
is this for standard? Yeah.
yeah, because
Okay.
like you were still
Oh,
risking the
yeah.
ghost, potentially possessing Vickers here.
We might
Yeah.
also like I don't know, crash
gonna-
against the cliff wall.
Yes,
Die?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm also gonna push myself for like I can push myself for extra dice, right? Or no? Can I only have one from an assist?
Oh, you can have an assist and a push. You can push yourself and get assistance. You can have 2 bonus dice. That's
All right,
fine.
I'm gonna need that. Okay. Ooh, and I did need it.
3, a 1,
Desperate
and
standard,
a 5.
and it's a 5.
Yeah.
It's a 5.
I think it's two risky consequences, which is say that the two of you both take harm. Right?
All right.
And I think you don't actually take harm just from hitting the wall. So, Joan, you look up, and for a moment it seems like yes, somehow Abbas's robes are glowing. You can read them. This is like the snakeskin reading that you do in your spare time. How is... Oh shit, they're flying straight at you. And I think you see that like what is happening somehow is that Abbas seems to be like literally flying. And this is like reminiscent of something out of like a fairy tale. Right? Like the mad priest and his nephew fell from the void into the arms of their family. Right? He's not fully in control. And I think that like Abbas, as you try and like maneuver your way like so as to not hit Joan or Vickers, instead you hit something that you can't see. The thing that you hit, not that you know this, but Joan, you know this. You hit a ghost, right? And
Oof.
there is like a shudder in the ghost field, as if to be like, what just happened to me? And that, I think, leaves both Abbas and Miraz like level 2 harm ghost shock. Because like the instinctive response is to kind of be like,
I'm not picturing this as the ghost literally exploding as the hang glider hits them. That's probably not what happens,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's in my mind. It just looks like the ghost just bursts
Yeah, just
and
like-
they get electrocuted by it.
Indeed. Yeah. Like, I think one of the problems is that, like, in Dustwall, if such a thing happened, and all of you would immediately be like, oh my god, I know what this is. Yeah, you're not even expecting it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh god.
yeah. Both of you take level 2 harm, and Ghost, I think, now is visible to all of you on account of being hit by, hang glider. And it is not precisely, I think, humanoid. I think it's like the top half of a person. It's got, it does not have really any defining features. You can kind of see that it's got like 2 like wispy arms and a head. Like below its torso, it just kind of like crumbles away into nothing. You can feel the sheer confusion emanating from it.
All right. Well, we can also feel the fear of seeing a ghost, I suppose.
Indeed.
Since
Yes.
Resolve roll. That
2
was
6s. So Miraz rolled resolve, and he rolled a 2, a 3, and a 4, so he'll take 2 stress. Joan rolled 2 6s, so apparently somehow seeing this ghost is actually relieving.
We see, like, under the tangle of her hair, we see a little smile.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I mean, this makes perfect sense, right? Ghosts Joan knows how to deal with. This is actually her wheelhouse,
Yeah.
so...
What about Abbas?
Mhm.
Are you A, resisting the harm, or B, reacting in any way to the ghost?
My resistance was resisting the harm, by the way.
Makes sense.
I think I would like to resist the harm. Yes.
I think it's very fitting if Abbas and Miraz
Yeah.
don't resist the ghost and are just freaked out by it. I think it's a
Oh, yeah.
cool way to hand Joan the spotlight.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Abbas rolled a 6, a 3, and a 5. So I think...
Abbas is used to ghosts. He's very old.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that's just awful. Terrible. Okay. Yeah, Abbas, I think you manage to, like, once you realize what's going on and you see the ghost, you manage to actually, like, fall into quite a graceful, like, roof ball roll. And also, somehow, like, some part of you remembers how to do this. And by this, I mean fly using hang glider ropes, ? And it's just, like, coming to you somewhat instinctively. Incredible. Yeah, but then you see the ghost and you freeze. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And Joan, I think you know
That's-
what is happening. It is that, like, you have 3 people behind you who are incapacitated. And it's you and this ghost.
Mhm.
What are you going to do?
I think she for a moment sees the terror on Abbas and Nivas. Holds out a hand and just kind of, like, in a voice that makes it clear that she doesn't actually believe it herself quite. She's like, it's all right, it's not scary, it's just grief and loss and mourning, and it will pass. And then she takes in one hand her lightning hook, activates it so that the kind of man catcher at the end sparkles with lightning, and her revolver in the other. And there are 3 roles in any team of railjacks: the anchor, which we've seen, the hammer, which is the one that eventually ends up destroying the ghost. But the middle one is the grappling, and that's what Joan is, the one who catches it.
Nice. Yeah.
So she's gonna go at it and try and put the man catcher around its neck and pin it down against the floor.
absolutely. What kind of action are you thinking this is?
It could very well be a skirmish.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the skirmish, I mean, like, you are not perfectly would be, you wouldn't have to deal with this at all. But you are as well set up as you can be for this kind of thing. So I think with skirmish, you're like risky standard.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of thing can never be risk-free. I don't even know if it can ever really be in a controlled position, but like, risky is as good as you'll ever get.
All right. Is there a devil's bargain
Oh,
available?
a devil's bargain.
I mean, I have a suggestion for a devil's bargain,
Yeah, go on.
but it may not align with what Tree has planned. It's a Skovlander ghost.
Ooh.
Maybe you even know it.
Ooh.
Mm.
Oh man,
Is it
you know,
Pierre?
I
Pierre.
I don't think so. But I think, in fact, we can, as the audience, can maybe now see that, like, it's a Skovlander ghost, and it is like the ghosts that are coming here are being like attracted in some way by the memory of Skovland Revolution, and that is why like they've managed to like summon this king, right? Like, there is a very specific mood that is going on, and that is why these ghosts are appearing. Maybe like earlier, until now, this ghost was like did not really have any features, but now the face kind of resolves into someone you used to know. Somebody that I used to know. Somebody. So yeah.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Tree.
Yeah, no, I know that like really this is all just set up for my eventual singing career. So.
Of course. It's a very elaborate setup, actually.
The question is, do you take this devil's bargain, Emma?
Yes, I
you might
do
not.
take it.
Okay.
So I think what we see is she makes a first pass and doesn't quite manage to get it, but getting closer as the features resolve into something recognizable, she turns and like a look of recognition passes along her face. It's you. Wait, no. And I'm wondering who this is actually.
I think
If it's someone that she knew.
yeah, I wonder, like, we never established exactly how you found your way to the temple, right? Like, what was the first lead?
I think the first lead was being a distant relative. So
yes.
like she came back home,
Yeah.
wasn't able to like settle back in, and then a family member, maybe like her mother or father actually, who still have some ties back to Olivia, suggested that she go there
Yeah. So actually,
and live with his family.
maybe in that case, this person is a member of the revolution that smuggled you out of Scotland.
Right. Yes, that's very cool. So actually it's a passing recognition, and you can see on her face that she actually has to like think for a second where she knows this person, and then like questioningly mumbles under her breath, not even communicating to the ghost, but more confirming it to itself, or sounding it out. Bodang? Shit.
Yeah. And I think
I'm sorry.
And I think there's almost none of that memory really left. Right? I think like probably again maybe like we as the audience kind of understand that like what is happening is that they're trying to like find these ghosts or summon them or something of this kind, and they don't often succeed. And very often instead what happens is this kind of thing, like a half-formed memory of someone, like a set of disparate impressions and sensations that have become a ghost, and maybe only because this ghost is next to you and has been for long enough that it's been able to find that part of its identity. Maybe if it had hadn't been for you, it would have just continued in the way that it was.
Yeah. So then is the moment where the actual role and the actual action comes, and she's gonna rush this like figment of a person that she knew with first a strike that kind of comes from above, trying to make it close to the ground so that she can then switch to an overhand grip and get it stuck. 1 bonus die from the Devil's Bargain.
Mhm.
3 dice.
A 2,
A 2, a 1, and a 1.
And I mean, this is just
Wonder.
it's just not going well for you all.
No.
And I will like flag here that sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. I think that like this, I think you're going to be in a desperate position here because as you try and catch this, it's not the first time you try to catch a ghost. This is nowhere close to the most like dangerous ghost you've ever caught, right? Like and yet somehow the familiarity with it seems to be affecting you. I think the other thing that is happening is that the way that the ghost has been summoned means that like it reacts kind of weirdly with the lightning hook in your hands. And somehow it seems to become more material the closer it gets to it. So I think what happens is that like you actually manage to catch its neck, and like you know what happens next, you know. And I think just as you do that, you can see that like the torso begins to lengthen, and you see legs start forming, and you can see that like the ghost, which was earlier, you know, dangerous but mindless, is now beginning to regain its old identity. And I'm now going to give this person a name.
I think I gave him the name Baudet.
Yeah, Baudet, yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Boudijn.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, Baudet, now I think doesn't just materialize, but also like facets that you don't expect weak ghosts to have. Like you begin to see clothes start to form. You know, like it starts to have like an expression on its face. And it says, "Let me go."
So I guess it's a moment of pity that makes it so that she can't hold him back.
Yeah.
Which is very fitting.
Yeah, because like that, it's exactly what you should not. You're trained not to.
Mm-hmm.
And like
it's what you're trained not to, and being trained not to, and like constantly struggling not to is also what fucks you up mentally the most.
Yep.
Contrary to what most people believe, that it's the ghost fear that like kind of numbs you and wears at your nerves. It's actually this. It's actually the nature of the work.
Yeah. And I want to flag that like I presume here, Miraz and Abbas, you are seeing this happen, and this is not something that like Miraz even you've necessarily even heard of in Duskwall, because grabbing a ghost should not make it more dangerous, and yet that's what's just happened.
Abbas doesn't have any idea what's going on, so
Okay. Do I still need to resist to do something?
Actually, now that like it is in the lightning hook, I think what is happening is that it is absorbing the power of the lightning hook in order to become material, but it is not like focused on you. You could probably act, and if you wanted to act directly against it, I think you would still need to resist.
This is how I die. Let's see.
No. I also want to flag here that like because you can you can wake up at some point. You know, like
I know.
I
know. It's just funnier if Vickers misses this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because wakes up at some point and is like, wow, why is everybody dead? Yeah.
Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm marking my last 2 loads to take Tinkering Tools and Protective Suit.
Okay.
Miraz grabs a hold of the lightning hook.
Oh my god.
And kind of overloads it on the other side to blow up both the lightning hook and the ghost.
Oh, amazing.
Great. So I think here, destroying Jones' best friend's lightning hook is exactly the kind of thing that'll get you a Devil's Bargain die. So...
But should it? I mean, it is the thing I'm doing anyway.
Well,
like
I think you can get a bonus die for it, because it just feels like a fitting Devil's Bargain that like it's irrevocably destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because,
And,
So do I still need to resist to do this? Because I am directly attacking it, but also...
Oh no, but through the lightning?
I vote no.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I
so.
vote no, because you're doing it at a distance in like a safe way. I feel like personally, I feel like you shouldn't abuse the you have to resist ghost mechanics because
fair.
it gets boring if you just have to do it for everything.
Yeah, no, that's
but that's
fair.
just my opinion.
Yeah, no. So I think what I was thinking earlier was that like if you want to like step into its presence in order to like stab it.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that.
Okay, that's fine. That's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So what's my position, in fact, this time?
So
For blowing up the lightning hook and it...
Desperate but great, I think, because you
Alright.
will have particularly. This is exactly what it is vulnerable to, and it is like very linked to this. But I think the desperate level consequence here is you risk setting free an incredibly like powerful ghost in a city that is very, very not prepared for ghosts.
That's
It's
fine.
also an explosion.
I mean, yeah, sure.
It
That's
could also
fine.
be desperate because of that.
Yeah.
For the explosion, I'm fine. I have my protective suit on. That's the entire point of it.
You know, Joan
As
is
for the
holding
ghost,
the
it's fine.
hook, right? You grabbing
Yeah.
the hook
It's
from
fine.
Joan? Okay. Just saying.
We've got other cousins.
Excellent. Is this Tinket?
No, it's wreck. I'm blowing it up.
Okay. Fair.
Desperate, great. Let's see what happens.
1 bonus die, remember that.
1 bonus dice. Is Joan assisting?
Yes. As soon as I realize what you're doing, I'm gonna help.
As I what Mira says, and he's like got a frantic look in his eyes, and Wally says, "Gotta fuck it up." And it's not clear if he means the lightning hook or the ghost, or
Yes.
that he's going to fuck up what he's doing. We'll see.
Yeah.
I have an idea for how Joan could assist.
Good job.
Sorry for throwing out ideas for your characters all the time, but mine is
That's all right.
unconscious. I have an excuse. I think that lightning hooks have some sort of a safety to prevent this exact thing from happening, and that Joan just switches it off.
Oh, you can't switch it off. I rip it off.
Very good.
Yeah. Perfect. It's even better.
Okay, very good. Time for us all today.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we
A
didn't.
5, a 1, a
5.
3, and a 4. So
Yeah.
it's a 5.
Ghost destroyed,
Yes.
but consequences probably.
Yeah. Well, is your goal here to destroy the ghost utterly or to get it, solve the problem of there being a ghost around you?
I don't know, man. I don't think Miraz understands how ghosts work. He just knows electroplasmic thing. It's drawing power from electroplasm. How about we give it too much of its own medicine and blow it up?
Okay.
Okay.
Great, okay.
If this doesn't blow up the ghost but just send it away, this looks in my head like you just shoot it away like out of a gun. It just goes like wham! Shoots off in a straight line really far away. Disappears into the sky like Team Rocket.
Indeed.
It's
Blasting
Uno.
away. Yeah, I think
Shards of like the lightning hook flying everywhere.
Yeah. I think what happens is that like you rip the safety off Joan, and you see the electroplasmic energy flow into this ghost, and initially it's like, haha, you were only making me stronger, but it's really not. It's like it starts screaming in pain, and then I think just before the lightning hook kind of overloads, I think what happens is that like the ghost at the last moment decides, okay, fine, I can't afford to like stay here anymore. And like there is like an explosion in the ghost field. And the ghost is no longer there after like when you like kind of open your eyes, you're trying to get your bearings. You can't tell whether that's because it's been completely blown to smithereens or because Team Rocket blasting away. You know, it might be out there somewhere. But you get the feeling it's the latter.
Yeah.
And
Is that the desperate consequence?
yeah, the desperate consequence is that there's a like
gone, but it's here.
yeah.
It's still there.
That's like and like it's angry, it's powerful, and it has a great incentive to track you down and fuck with you specifically.
So add the new rival.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yay!
say, Miraz, you should add a rival to your sheet called Baudin the Ghost.
I would like to resist with insight. And the way and what I'm doing here is that Bodin, who seems to have gotten unusually intelligent, unless I misread
That's
it.
basically what's
Is
happening.
that fair?
Yep.
Yeah. He is intelligent enough to like sort of figure out actions. Maybe he doesn't understand like intention. He thinks that I set him free. So by resisting, I mean that he will come seek me out. He's
Sure.
not going to be my friend,
Yeah,
but he's going to come seek me out in a more neutral setting.
That's fair. You can add him to your sheet as a contact, not as a rival.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. That's what I'm
And you
doing.
rolled a 6.
Unintentionally, by the way.
Yeah, no, I mean, great. Amazing. Wow. Okay, fantastic. Oh, you know, Baudin So, Joan, there's no way that Baudin secretly means rocket in Dutch, right?
No, it unfortunately does not.
Okay, that's great. No. I mean, it would be very it would be very goofy if it did. But yeah.
It's a name that derives from Baldwin.
Oh, that is interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a common French name in Bodon.
I
Got
see. But yeah, so they go.
Yes.
The ghost is gone blasting off, disappeared. You are now on this ledge below the lip of that very steep slope that you all fell off, but you are safe enough at the moment. Right? Like you are not.
Yes, I want to wake up
Yes.
in the silence after this explosion.
Yeah.
So I think as the silence of the explosion echoes through the cave, we see Vickers sit up, brush off her clothes a little bit, and say into thin air, "Halva." I thought of the name of the candy. I remember.
I don't know. I guess I hand you some halva.
Yes. Oh, you brought it. How sweet. You do know I love it. But yes, we probably shouldn't be trying to climb something with the consistency of this, she says and pops it in her mouth.
Dear, have you noticed that we are 60 feet below where we were?
Oh. Well, no, I'm not very good at identifying rocks, I'm afraid. These all pretty much look the same to me.
Luckily. And then I think I flap Abbas's robes. We have a means of getting back up there.
One of you has some kind of means. Yeah, sure. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think we're in a bit of a pickle though, because we need to get up there, right? Unless I missed.
Yes. And what is definitely
direction.
happening is that Johannes is getting way ahead of you. So it's not just that you have to get up there. If you want to catch up to them, you'll have to do it very quickly.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed more basically.
Yeah.
So, but it's more obviously we won't climb back up there because that's basically repeating what just happened.
Oh, sure.
We're
Yeah.
in a worse position.
Alright,
I also
speaking
think we are not in a position to quit the score because now we are
no.
stuck.
Also true.
Maybe our best bet is to find an alternate route, because I was thinking that
I was thinking an alternate route makes sense, yes.
Yeah,
So
we could try to study because what Vicar just said. Maybe we can study the rocks to figure out how deep we are. Maybe or maybe Abbas has something with him, some kind of
Hey,
map.
Abbas
I'm
has
blueprints.
Abbas has a very wide knowledge base, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Maybe he understands geology.
Yes, and he has a lot of random documents, and one of those could possibly be some kind of map of Uduasha's cave systems that maybe he had with him this whole time and only just remembered in
It's like a little.
What a fucking.
It's like a little hitchhiker's guide to Uduasha, and there's a whole section on rock surfaces in in the Undercity.
Or there are people do map out caves and stuff,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
if in a flashback, if Abbas can flashback to have one of these things with him, or
I think it would be very cool if it's very old, back from your rebellious days when you had this for purpose of hiding under the city.
maybe he didn't even know he had it. It's just that whatever engineering we've done to the robe, and it just falls out of the pocket. There we go.
Yeah,
Excellent.
one of his old notebooks.
If suspiciously divine intervention.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Fantastic.
Oh, you know what? We're in a hole in the ground.
Yes.
You want to summon a hobbit?
The snake. Can we just summon the snake?
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. Okay. You can try
Can
this.
we? Is that a thing? It seems like it gets around.
I mean, there is no reason that you cannot try it.
Yeah, I don't know. Up to you guys. I like the idea of trying to get the snake to help us. Is that
We have glory incarnate, so
Yeah. And we can attune, I guess, to bring it here.
Mr. Snake, we're stuck in the bottom of a well.
Let's summon the snake. Snake here.
Yes, this is Snake.
Yes.
I guess we all have to hold hands in a circle and do the snake dance.
I guess
Yeah,
you have to all.
yes.
All right. So this is a group action then, and it should be, I think.
Yeah, and I think it also makes sense for you to have the map, right? And
Okay.
we can probably use the map once we get taken up there.
Mhm.
Do we think this is a complicated enough flashback to cause stress?
Do you have the map?
Yeah, tell them. I mean, I don't.
I think having a map for this exact area is a little bit. So maybe I would say a stress flashback. Is that okay? What do you guys think?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, seems
Or
reasonable.
even more. I mean, like to
Yeah.
like yeah, there we go.
I
mean,
I
now-
think one. It's not like super powerful, but it also like kind of makes sense to have
Yeah.
brought some sort of
Yeah.
map of
Yeah.
the city.
There we
Yeah.
go. We now have a map of like
Yeah.
an old, kind of maybe out of date map of
And
the
we're-
caves.
And we're gonna try to summon a big snake to kind
Yeah.
of like take us out of this hole in the ground and position us.
Yeah.
I think Vickers will not
Yeah.
participate in this group action for two reasons. The first is she just doesn't have lots of Attune, so she would hamper more than she would help. And I think the second reason is her Hadrathi is still not that good, particularly not her traditional Hadrathi. So
Very good. Yeah.
Mm.
it's not that she doesn't want to participate. I just think you guys know that she is not very good at this and would
That's
not
fair.
help.
It would have the risk of saying like, please come dishcloth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
John, would you like to do the Cobra?
of course. Always.
Yes.
I'm always ready to do the Cobra.
Excellent. Let us all hold hands in a circle and do the Cobra. Who's leading? I guess I am. That's my idea.
Yeah, it's you're the head priest.
Yeah. Haha, of course I am.
Yes.
Don't you forget it.
Indeed. Let's say this is a fortune roll, because this is about whether it's about whether or not it works and to what extent it works and etc. So
I think it should be an action roll because this is also the lair of another forgotten god.
not in the layer
yeah.
yet, but
Mm.
I mean, yeah,
It's in the territory.
it's in the territory.
So like even if it doesn't come in and stop us, it probably comes with some risk.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Also, yeah.
Okay.
It also
I'll
is
sta-
like, such a super high risk maneuver to summon the god to act as our taxi
Yeah, I mean, I
that I
think
would be more comfortable with it being an action roll.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's say risky. Yeah, I think risky and standard. Yeah, you can do this. We've seen you do this. Yeah, risky and standard.
Yeah. And the fact that that map happened to just fall out of Abbas's robes signals that it's keeping its eye on us at the moment. That's the only reason we can do this.
Yes.
So it's around. It's probably just like lol.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, we do know that lol is actually like a big mood for the snake. So
Yes.
I have a very interesting to me devil's bargain, if I may suggest it.
yeah, go on.
Being able to do this implies that we might have done it before, and that the time that the snake ate the golem might actually have been our fault after all.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I think the Devil's Bargain is probably Miraz realizing this now, going like, "Oh yes, last time we did that, wasn't there a strange crunching noise?" And suddenly the pieces come together.
Excellent.
Oh god.
Very good. Yeah.
Oh god. Okay. So it's definitely our fault. Okay. Risky,
Yep.
standard, bonus dice to who? For the Devil's Bargain?
Do you? I
You,
guess.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Hey guys, do we want to do Desperate Great? No.
We done a lot of this.
We could.
Oh, do you want to? Why not?
Why not?
Sure.
What's the worst that could happen?
That's
Hey,
Yes.
hey, you want to help us ride into the lair of the forgotten god?
I was going to say, if we're going for great effect, then I think it should
Yeah.
not just take us out of this pickle, but actually take us where we're going. That feels
Yeah.
like the appropriate great
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
And that seems appropriately desperate too,
Yeah,
because
Does. yeah,
that's
just-
really provoking the other god.
yes.
Yeah, we're going to ride it into battle. Excellent.
Oh, that's yes, indeed. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Desperate Great, Devil's Bargain, 5. Okay.
5 from Miraz,
Okay.
1 and 3 from Joan.
I trauma, by the way.
Oh man.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
And Abbas, I assume, was also Cobra.
Yes, I was.
Let's see. it.
I believe you trauma because you're overwhelmed with religious fervor. That seems to be the only explanation.
A 2.
Oh,
Mm.
right.
Man.
Well, my disagreements with the snake are.
I have
Mhm.
taken Haunted as my trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
I think that
As the snake's
No, go on.
snake's power overtakes me. But please go on.
Yeah, so I
That's
think
all
two
have to
things
say.
happen. First is that I'm gonna fill this clock called 2 free with the blessings of the Eternal One, because I don't know, maybe asking your god to be your taxi is exactly the kind of thing that you shouldn't be casually doing.
And what good is God if God doesn't come in and help us out in the little jams?
Yeah, indeed, especially the ones that you cause yourself.
Eh,
And I think the second thing that happens, and this is something that like it's more that like you sense it instinctively, is you sense that not only has Johannes reached where they were going, but that they have also fallen into the power of the Kingfisher. The Kingfisher, yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
And
I
so
called it the Kingfisher as a pun on Fisher King, but it seems that was misjudged.
it's fine. I mean, the problem is also that like I've been drinking a lot of beer over the last like several weeks, so I keep trying to tell myself this is not the beer, but it is. It is Kingfisher.
Ah.
So
The
Yes.
Kingfisher also fishes for kings. But does anyone want to resist like any of the consequences? I mean, I can't because I traumatized out, but just giving an
I
opportunity.
can't because I don't know any of them have happened. So
It's okay if no one does, but just giving an opportunity.
So the idea is that the snake, okay, 2 free with the God's power. If we maybe
fine.
of us could,
Keep that.
we could, yeah. All right.
But the other
I
one
think,
with Johannes.
no, I mean, we could keep that too, right? Like, I
Sure.
don't
Okay.
have a problem with that.
Okay.
I
Just
honestly also have no idea how to resist that.
Yeah. Just flagging that there's always the opportunity to
power
resist.
of love, Emma. It's the power of love. That's what you got to do. You just got to reach out with your soul.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that.
I know.
Sorry.
Okay, you can take that as your next advice.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think that what we see is from the bottom of this cavern, what seems like the bottom of this cavern, you hear hiss. This is not a kind and gentle, hey, what's up? I'm here to play chess with you kind of hiss. This is the sound of a predator disturbed from its sleep, and it is looking for something to eat. And as it emerges, realize that in fact the ledge that you are standing on, wait a second, how did you not notice? It feels like snakeskin. You realize that like rock itself appears to be part of giant snake. And when you look up and you look at where you had left those 2 batons go golden for a second before melting into the face of the Eternal One. It looks down at you. It says, "Again, my children? Again, you ask? Surely you do not need to be led around like toddlers. Surely this is not what the head priest, the temple of the eternal Chakraborty, has been reduced to. What about you, Joan? You have nothing to say about this travesty? Now you wish to lead me into the grotto of another god. Willy-nilly. No planning, no forethought, simply diving into action."
Well, Vicar speaks up. Well, Your Majesty, dreadfully sorry about all this. It's just, well, it turns out the rock was insufficiently eternal. We thought you might last longer.
You jest. Victoria, do not think that even you tolerate such mediocrity.
Oh, no, indeed I don't. It's very terrible rock. Crumbled like, well, halva. Would you like some?
I will take you to the grotto, and what happens will be left up to you. You will not hear from me, will not speak in my presence. The committee that you have successfully delayed so far will take place. Only when I am once more pleased with your actions will I appear. I shun you. I think it says this in this like kind of like imperious, like how dare these people not understand what is going on. And in the kind of way that like a parent goes, how the hell are you still disappointing me? Even as it does this, like, you know, you have called it here for a purpose. And I think rock itself moves. It gives the lie to what you were saying, Vickers, which is that the rock was insufficiently eternal, because now it is literally part of the Eternal One. Nothing could be more eternal.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah.
The snake fixed it. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, indeed.
I think the people holding Miraz's hands realize that his hands are twitching and like in his mouth is open and his tongue is just kind of like going in circles and his eyes are also going in circles.
I'm reminded of a scene, and I forget where I read this, of a character being forced to relive all their past incarnations at once. And I feel like Miraz is possibly going through something similar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Seems like a lot. I think that like what happens is that you find yourself plunged once more into a space that actually Joan had been in when that initial committee was formed. That space that was darkness full of candles. That place, Joan, when you had gone to it at that time, was a place of warmth and like of wonder and delight. Now it appears more like an infinite void that is only being held at bay by like the scant flickering of a few sparks. And indeed, you see that like there's only a handful of candles burning and they are threatening to go out. And each of you, as you see those candles kind of flicker, you smell the smell of discarded snakeskin somewhere in the distance. You swallow just once. You find yourselves in front of the front door of Kingfisher Grotto. And by this, I don't mean like the theoretical front door through which you'd have to sail, but like in front of the court. And normally this place would be full of people, but because you have come here through divine intervention, it is right now deserted. I think Miraz, without knowing it, you are not in control of your hand at this moment. Your left hand, your mechanical hand, reaches out, natural as if it was as living and breathing, and knocks.
And from Miraz's voice, in a woman's voice, with a very lilted accent, someone says, "The shrine builder comes."
And so blows out our brief candle. I named the disciples of the ceaseless temple thus, with both their given names and taken. Soumithri, called Tree. Zoheb, called Klow. Prince, Emma, and Aadiyat, called Soap. Intro music, Jalandhar by Kevin MacLeod. Outro music in Kiravani Ragam by Srinivas. Blades in the Dark by John Harper and Evil Hat Productions. Iruvian playbooks by Johnstone Metzger. Follow us at Desperate Attune on Twitter or email us at desperateattune@gmail.com. Support us at kofi.com/desperateattune.
On the next episode of Desperate Attune.
Actually, I will mark my Spirit Bane charm and ask Miraz for assistance. Because I think there is a thing that can help her realize that like you have a choice. And it is as Vickers leans forward, her Spirit Bane charm around her neck will slip out of her clothes. And it is a locket of Miraz.
Oh, that is so cute. I really hope this bird god doesn't end up eating all of you.
Yeah, I think Miraz kind of like, I think he was kind of rushing towards you because the spectral beak thing, I suppose like in that moment it resembled less like a kingfisher, more like a gigantic fucked up mosquito as it kind of like lunged towards you with its proboscis. I have been rushing towards you, and I think what Miraz does is that he rushes forward too fast and he collides with the both of you. And I think that would probably unshackle the anchors a bit more.
Very good.
Yeah. And yeah, I think it's also fitting and symbolic that she sees this. Like, you can choose the people you want to surround yourself with. They are not chosen for you.
Yeah, you can choose this idiot, but at least you get to choose.
Yeah.
Yes.